y'all now. We got Oneeyeddeacon running Batman Arkham Knight Easy. I believe this is not glitchless.
Yes, it's not glitchless.
All right. Well, I'll leave it to you. Take it away.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks for having me at the marathon. So I'm as mentioned, I'm Oneeyeddeacon. I'm going to be doing Arkham Knight any percent easy. The first thing we're going to do is the most important part of the run, which is to select a Batman skin. So, because we're living in COVID times, I'm going to choose a very COVID-friendly mask because there's a face mask on it, or COVID-friendly skin. And so, now we can start the run. So the timer starts when I start burning the body. So as kind of a preface, Arkham Knight is the third game in the Arkham trilogy and the fourth game in the Arkham anthology. There's a prequel game. In the previous game, there's a supervillain named the Joker, and he basically in the previous game Arkham City, the Joker's blood is poisoned, and what happened is he decides to try to force Batman to help him by injecting his blood into Batman, and then in addition he sends his blood to hospitals all around the city. So what ended up happening though is Joker did succumb to his illness and passed away. So we're gonna start the game by cremating his body. So the timer starts once the zoom out happens, and then I start cremating the body. I'll do a countdown. So timing starts in 3, 2, 1, go. And so after this, we're gonna get an epic narration by Commissioner Gordon, who's gonna say,
"This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died."
Alright, so in this cutscene that we're skipping, what Gordon tells us is that after Joker died, he expected there to be some kind of power struggle, but there wasn't, so he was a little concerned that something bad is going to happen down the line. But now we're a cop in a diner, things are okay. There's this waitress named Sharon, very nice. There's some stuff around here, like there's a missing person poster, Henry Adams. Maybe that'll have something to... Maybe that'll be relevant later. There's like a poster of some airships over there, that might be relevant later. Goliath's still at large, that might be relevant later. So we're just here, we ordered some food. Then this guy with glasses, this Karen over here, comes to us. Oh, sorry.
When you get a moment, can you turn up the game audio a bit?
Oh, sure.
It's a little quiet on stream.
Let me just turn it up all the way.
Owens, there's a guy smoking.
Oh, turn me up just a tad as well.
Okay, sure. Alright, let's try that.
Wait here. I'll have a word.
Alright, so the guy complains about this guy in the corner who's smoking. So we'll just talk with him.
Excuse me, sir. There's no smoking in here.
Guess this guy didn't really like being told that. Oh, this is... So yeah, everyone turned into these monsters. We're cops, so we have a gun. We can defend ourselves. So here, this guy's gonna run at us, and it's faster to shoot him and then walk forward. You don't have to shoot him. If you don't shoot him, it just changes some NPC dialogue down the line. So what happened here is there's a supervillain named Scarecrow, and what he did is he released some fear toxin in here, which is why everyone started attacking each other. And he's basically threatened to release that fear toxin throughout the entire city. So now the police have basically spent the next 2 days evacuating Gotham. So the city is completely evacuated except for some supervillains like Two-Face and Penguin here, as well as some rioters who are just causing some damage around the city. And basically we're gonna be Batman. We're gonna basically try to stop Scarecrow from releasing the fear toxin. So now I'm gonna do the second most important thing in the run, which is to enable Big Head mode. So if you saw before, everyone's heads were normal sized. But we can enable something called Big Head mode. You basically, on controller, you hold the two triggers and then you turn the right joystick clockwise 10 times. People love it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is pretty funny to look at. It makes the game a lot more interesting. So yeah, you can see now Batman has an enormous head. So we see a bat signal over there. Batman likes to fly over to bat signals, so let's just head on over there. Alright, so we're going to talk to Commissioner Gordon. So Commissioner Gordon, we first talked to him and then we talked to Barbara Gordon, who is his daughter, and we also call her Oracle. She works for us without her father knowing. She's also paralyzed from the waist down. But basically they mentioned that there's a military vehicle driving around. We haven't been able to find it yet. And then there's also a cop in Chinatown here who's in a little bit of trouble, so we're gonna save him. Oops. Alright, so we'll rescue the guy. We then almost get run over by this military vehicle, but fortunately we managed to save the officer from getting run over, and now we're tracking it in our Batmobile. So you want the car to fire that rocket around there, and he'll turn into this alley right here. There's a cop following him who unfortunately gets blown up, so Chet likes to type Fs for that cop. The fastest way of taking him on, or the easiest way, is to come here and cut him off, and then just hit him head on like that. So now we need to interrogate this driver. Wait a little bit, and then when he starts crawling, you can cancel an animation of you pulling him into the middle of the street, which is what I did there.
Where is he? I got nothing to say to you, Batman. Talk, or I'll crush every bone in your body. Okay, okay. He's working out of a penthouse in Chinatown. I swear that's all I know. If you're lying, I'll break the other one. The other one?
Alright, so now we know that we think Scarecrow... Our next lead is that Scarecrow's in some building in Chinatown, so we're gonna head on over there.
Oracle.
You're not. Let's hope.
It's very close by. It's right here. Let's boost on over there. Scarecrow actually isn't here, but we do find Poison Ivy,
I can't say I'm surprised.
who's a real nice cheerleader for us.
Security. I've seen trees with faster reflexes. Something.
So,
Well, that's made things a little.
So basically one thing there are a couple things that happen in the cutscenes that we skip. One, we find out Ivy is immune to Scarecrow's toxin. And two, we find out that Scarecrow's working with a bunch of villains to basically... They wanna kill Batman and release... Or they want to humiliate Batman or whatever, take on the Bat. Then, as we try to escort Ivy out of the building, there's some militia and tanks that show up. Fortunately, our Batmobile turns into a tank, so we can deal with them. Alright, now let's... So this last tank here can be a little bit annoying. It sometimes doesn't, like, come out properly. So now we're gonna escort Ivy to GCPD. She is a supervillain after all. We need to incarcerate her. But first we're gonna do these diagnostics, or rather we're gonna start the diagnostics and abort them immediately. There's some other tanks. Yeah, other tanks that we're gonna take on before we fight Ivy. Yeah, so I mentioned that there's two things. There's the skins. So I'm using the Batman Beyond skin with the nice face mask. There's also Big Head mode, which is a separate thing. But yeah, both of those are I enabled both of them. People really like Big Head mode, so thought it would be fun.
Tell your men they can resume their patrols. Tanks have been dealt with. Thank God. Let's hope they were the last. Don't count on it. I need the isolation chamber prepped at the GCPD lockup. I'm bringing in Ivy. Good to have you here, Batman. Bring her down to the lockup.
Alright, so we will take Ivy to GCPD. So after this, we're gonna need to talk with Gordon. Whoops. Before we do that, we're gonna go get a very important gadget. It's one of the, probably, arguably the most important gadget in the game, because we're gonna need it to do some skips.
Civil unrest?
So we're getting the remote electrical charge gun, or also known as the RET gun. And the key reason why this gadget is really important for skips is because the animation for firing it is a little bit slow, and that gives us time to interrupt that animation with other animations, and that's useful for doing skips down the line. So I'll show you examples of those skips in maybe like half an hour. So here now we're going to talk with Gordon here, and there's Aaron Cash. Aaron Cash is hilarious, but they're going to introduce the side missions to us.
We're on our own. We can handle it, Jim. What's the latest? We've got incidents cropping up all over the city. Cash, give us a rundown.
All right, let's see. First up, we've lost contact with the fire crew from Station 17. We've got their last known coordinates, but they're not going to survive out there on their own for long. Then there's this. It's a strange one. Body turned up. We didn't have long to look before the evacuation, but the forensics boys seemed freaked out. Real nasty. Also, we've had several sightings of the Riddler creeping around the train yard. Knowing that guy, he's got to be up to no good.
So that's all very interesting. We're going to do none of those side missions, because this is any percent. We don't need to.
Don't worry, Jim. I have someone working a lead on Scarecrow. I'll see what I can do.
But we do have to select a mission where I select this firefighter one just because it's closest to my mouse cursor. So if we run down here, this guy in the cell is the guy whose arm we broke, so let's just hit his head against the bars, because we're Batman, we can do that. You can interact with that guy twice, so that was the first interaction. I'll interact with him again later. So we're talking to Lucius Fox now.
Actually, Lucius, he's a little sluggish.
So Lucius Fox is the CEO of Wayne Enterprises, and he also sort of helps Batman with build and develop his gadgets. So he enabled something called the Afterburner on our Batmobile, which lets us drive faster. It's very useful. So now we're going to the clock tower to see sort of what... So Oracle lives in the clock tower, and this is basically Oracle's apartment, and she's gonna show us the research she's done on Scarecrow's toxin in the cutscene that we skipped. So basically what she did is she found the chemicals that comprise Scarecrow's toxin. So we're gonna now try to find out in the city where those chemicals are coming from. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to hack two antennas. So the first antenna is right in front of us at Panessa Studios, which is also an extremely important location later on. So I'm going to do an extra grapple here, and then here. So here we're going to hack this antenna, but we're not going to be able to power it properly. We might need Lucius's help for that.
The generator's damaged. I need to bypass it and power the antenna directly.
Hello again, Mr. Wayne.
Also, Big Head mode makes Batman's hands bigger. So we asked Lucius to give us something called the Power Winch, which is a Batmobile component, and the Power Winch does 3 things. So we'll see the 3 things they do in this upcoming. So the Batwing is going to drop the Power Winch on us. There we go. First thing it can do is pull down some objects. So we're going to pull down this Urba Rail station sign. It can also pull up makeshift ramps, so like here.
Please be careful with the car, Mr. Wayne. She's one of a kind.
So be careful on here, you don't want to fall, otherwise you have to climb all the way back up here. So the next thing it can do is also pull the Batmobile up buildings. Play fast? No. And the third thing it can do is supply electricity to things that we need to power. So for example, this antenna.
Oracle, I've restored.
Great.
So now we're gonna head on over to the second antenna. So we just talked with Robin, who wants to help us, but we're Batman. We don't need his help. So I want to grapple here. So in this second antenna, there are some militia people with a hostage. There's some dialogue that plays. We can overlap some of the dialogue by doing a grapple, cancel that grapple, and grapple back. So yeah, it's overlapping dialogue that it shouldn't be overlapping. It saves a little bit of time, I'm not sure how much.
It'll be easier. 5 soldiers, all armed.
So this is the introduction to our first Predator, which is basically when guys have guns, we're intended to be sneaky. And one thing that we do often is silent takedowns. Silent takedowns are usually very slow, but they're nice because they don't alert anybody. But what we can do with glitches is we can cancel the silent takedown animation, which is really funny. It looks kind of funny. So we're able to. So basically, what we're doing is we're canceling the silent takedown animation. We're basically doing a silent takedown while also quick firing the explosive gel. So it basically interrupts the silent takedown with you you pulling out the explosive gel. So now you notice we got a new bat suit. This bat suit lets us do cool things like fear takedown. Alright, so we'll rescue this guy. I'm also doing animation cancels to avoid some cutscenes that where you interact with things. So I did that in the clock tower. I just did it with both the antenna and I did it with rescuing the
I need to use
hostage
to identify the micro and
So-
wave frequencies across Gotham.
So yeah, so now we know the chemicals comprising Scarecrow's toxin, so we're going to find out where those chemicals are.
Manufacturing.
There's something on the right of the map, which is Ace Chemicals, so maybe the chemicals are related to Ace Chemicals. I don't know, wild guess.
The radio and microwave frequencies point to Ace Chemicals. That's where Scarecrow's producing the toxin.
Oh, what a twist. I did not expect that.
Jim, I've traced the fear toxin to Ace Chemicals. That's where we'll find Scarecrow.
Impossible. I've had a team there ever since the evacuation started, just like you asked.
Alright, so
Crane
Ace Chemicals, so we want to head over there, find out what's up.
I'm in the area. I'll round up my guys and head over.
Hold off until I get there, Jim. I'm on my way.
I'm going to get an upgrade right now. This is Critical Strikes. It's very useful for making fights a little bit faster. Basically, if you punch enough people, Your punches do one extra bit of damage, and on easy that saves quite a bit of time. On hard, it saves time as well, but not quite as much.
Any word from inside?
So while we're here, what happens is we're trying to get to Ace Chemicals, and then some guy named the Arkham Knight blows up this bridge in front of us. If we grapple up to the top of Ace Chemicals, we'll trigger a cutscene where we're introduced to the Arkham Knight's army, but that cutscene's a bit long, so we'll just skip it by grappling here, canceling, and then gliding over the cutscene trigger. And so now that we're in Ace Chemicals, we're going to try to rescue some workers. The first one is here. Let's just take out these guys first. The worker, unfortunately, is dead. We're not happy about that as Batman. So let's take out our frustrations on these 5 tanks at the entrance. So now we're gonna go to the second worker. There are 5 workers overall. So we're gonna head on to the second one. So first we open this door, and then we head on over to the far side of Ace Chemicals, to this building over here. There are a couple of guys here. We'll just shoot them. These are riot suppressors, so Batman doesn't kill, so he shoots non-lethal rounds at them. As we rescue here, we get confronted by some militia people and the Arkham Knight. So the Arkham Knight will see him drop down. He actually has a lot to say in this cutscene, but we're not really interested in hearing it. So what we're going to do is just control our Batmobile and shoot these guys. Arkham Knight escapes because he's a dirty little coward. But these other guys are not cowards, so we'll just take them out and rescue this worker.
You're safe now.
You don't know the half of it.
And this worker basically tells us that Scarecrow's trying to use Ace Chemicals to blow it up and then release fear toxin throughout the city.
Have you found Scarecrow?
Not yet. It's worse than I thought.
How much worse could it be?
He's building a bomb big enough to cover the entire East Coast in fear toxin. Take your men and get out of here.
So next we're going to rescue the rest of the workers. Unfortunately, there are 3 more workers and 2 of them are dead, so we're going to skip past the 2 dead workers and go straight to the one that is alive. What we do is we glide to these pipes and go here, and then this wall there has no collision, which lets us glide out of bounds. And so we're gliding out of bounds to this elevator in front of us. So wait for the elevator door to open. Out of bounds. Yeah, there's a lot of out of bounds in this run. So if you like out of bounds, you will like this run. So let's just fight these guys.
It's okay. You're safe.
So what we were supposed to have done in this is we were supposed to have used the Batmobile to lower this elevator into here, and now we're supposed to use the Batmobile to pull it back
He's in
up.
the city.
Oh, and by the way, that worker tells us where Scarecrow is. He's basically in the middle of Ace Chemicals. So if we remote control our Batmobile, we're supposed to use it to pull the elevator up, but we can't really because there's a lot of stuff we were supposed to do to set that up. However, if we just drive the Batmobile out here to rescue the workers, the game thinks that the second worker is actually in the car. So we can rescue both of the workers right now.
Scarecrow's forces have murdered the
Batman, however, is not in the Batmobile, so we need to get him in the Batmobile, so we can get him in the Batmobile by reloading from checkpoint. So now we need to go confront Scarecrow, and as usual, we're gonna skip our way. We're gonna glitch our way to Scarecrow. So what we do is eject from the Batmobile, go onto these same pipes as before. We angle ourselves properly, jump, go out of bounds again. We then do a pretty precise glide to this platform up here. You don't have to actually land on the platform, but it's much easier to do that, even though the glide itself isn't exactly the easiest. Line launch here. Start walking on the line launcher, and you want to get to the end, then turn the camera to load in this area. Grapple on this grapple point up here before it deloads. Cancel it before you get to the end of that. And then we're gonna go at a 90-degree angle here. This will load in basically the room where Scarecrow is. So
Tonight is the night that Gotham
we basically skipped our way to Scarecrow in like a minute. Normally it takes like 3 or 4 minutes to get here.
forsaken symbol of Batman's failure. A monument to fear.
So this Predator, you kind of do the same way on all difficulties.
We're about to turn Gotham into the epicenter of a blast that will transform the entire...
If I'm lucky, I'll be able to do a fear takedown on these 4 guys, or 3 guys. Alright, did not.
Chemicals being loaded into the mixing chamber. Once I clear the room, I can focus on...
Because this is easy, you don't really take any damage when you do these Predators, so you don't have to be careful at all. On hard, it's much less forgiving. You'll die in like 2 gunshots, so you want to be a lot more careful. So we're gonna confront Scarecrow, but Scarecrow tells us basically that Barbara has been kidnapped, and then in our panic, Scarecrow then escapes. So that was our bad. Batman kind of screwed up there.
I know. I'm not trying to...
So now what we're going to try to do is neutralize Scarecrow's fear toxin. So we're going to pull some canisters out and put them in other places, which apparently neutralizes the toxin, so the neutralizing agent. So what we're going to do is we're going to cancel an animation where we pull out the canister, which lets us, when we push them in, it looks like Batman's miming. It's really funny, I think. And it saves like 10 seconds per canister, basically, if you do that. Because you're also able to run with the canisters if you cancel them. So we have to cancel 3 of them. The 4th one we cannot cancel. So let's see if I can actually get all 3 cancels.
I have no idea.
It's my fault they took her.
She was aware of the risks, Master Bruce.
Also, you don't want to push these in too quickly. Otherwise, it gives you a warning that it might explode first, and then it will explode, and then you have to do it over. And also the canisters will appear if you push them in too quickly, which is not what we want. It's much funnier to watch him mime.
That's all that matters.
Okay, so I pushed it in too quickly, so the canister is going to appear.
If this is about Miss Gordon, you cannot blame yourself for what's happened. Save yourself before it's too late.
Also with Big Head mode, his face is in the canister's in his face, which is funny. And so now we'll see the animation that I was skipping. So basically for this last one, you can't cancel it, so you'll have to do this thing where you pull out the canister like this. But then when we turn around, we see Joker, which is kind of funny because Joker died and we burned his body in the beginning, so I wonder what that's about. Maybe this flashback scene will explain it. So, in this flashback, we're assuming the role of Commissioner Gordon. We've been summoned to Panessa Studios. We don't know why, but we see there's a VIP elevator, and we're pretty important. So, we'll just do it. No, it was not an incentive.
Great. How the hell am I supposed to get in?
Voice pattern analyzed. Identification confirmed. Welcome, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, we have permissions to enter here, so we're gonna just do that. Seems like a good idea. Go to this elevator. We have no idea where it leads. So if you recall at the beginning of the game, I mentioned that Scarecrow had sent his blood to hospitals throughout the city. And basically what happened is Batman and Commissioner Gordon tried to stop all of that, but they missed some. So basically what Batman has done is he has quarantined a bunch of people infected with the Joker blood. Hard basically makes it you're not able to take as much damage. View range, yeah, they have like a sixth sense, and they attack faster. Okay, so you see there's 3 people here: Christina Bell, Johnny Charisma, Goliath, or Albert King. They're turning into Joker. Then there's Henry Adams here, who looks normal.
Batman. I'm glad you.
So in this cutscene, Batman explains that 3 of them are turning into Joker, but Henry Adams is not, so he wants to use Henry Adams to see if he can synthesize a cure. And then Commissioner Gordon correctly notes that there's a 5th cell that's empty. And that cell now has been explained to be for Batman, because Batman is still infected with Joker's blood. And now that he's been exposed to Scarecrow's fear toxin, he's starting to hallucinate Joker. But of course, instead of worrying about that, Joker correctly points out that we should try to escape this chemicals plant. So as we drive out, there's some guys in here. They're not actually supposed to be here. The only reason they're here is because we skipped going here the intended way. So like these tanks are not supposed to be here. Ideally, they shoot you like out of this door and out of this hole in the wall, which saves some time, but we didn't get that. Yeah, so we escaped. Yeah, so basically hard mode, enemies attack faster, they take more hits to go down, they do a lot more damage to you, and also in Predators, they can like sometimes just see you and shoot you, which is very annoying. But yeah, this is easy mode, so it doesn't matter too much.
Alfred.
So we're also starting to hallucinate Joker in our displays. So now there was a bit of a detour, but Barbara is still kidnapped, and we want to tell Commissioner Gordon that Commissioner Gordon also doesn't know that Barbara works for us, so we're debating if we should tell him that. But we are definitely going to tell him that Barbara's been kidnapped. So there's this Predator here at the clock tower. We're just doing it because it's on the way to GCPD, but we're intended to do this later, but it's actually faster to do it now. Alright, so we take out these guys. So now what we're going to do is get something called storage. What you do is you aim and fire the ret gun and then quick fire a batarang. What that does is that basically interrupts the animation of the aiming and firing of the ret gun. This will be very important later. And we're going to do that kind of thing a few times in this run. Alright, so we'll go to Gordon. We're going to tell him that Barbara's been kidnapped.
I gotta go. Batman.
So we're going to escort him to the clock tower, which is where Barbara last was. and see how things go, or see if we can find any leads. How's the run going? It's going well. Yeah. I don't really expect like a PB, but it's the big head mode. All right, but then we get some militia cars coming along the way. What you want to do is destroy them while before Arkham Knight finishes his dialogue, which we did, which is nice. Hopefully Gordon actually went kind of the best place he could.
It's too dangerous, Jim. Get in the Batmobile.
It can be sometimes, for whatever reason, like it can be hard to get around the car, so I'm like switching from tank mode back to regular Batmobile mode. Let's make that easier.
Just get us there in one piece, Batman.
So we're gonna escort Gordon directly without having to save him from cars. So now Alfred's gonna talk to us about sort of how many tanks there are on throughout Gotham, or on each island. But we don't really care what Alfred has to say, so we're just gonna skip it.
You got Alfred.
Alfred talks too much.
As you can see me.
Yeah, his head's too big for the back of the Batmobile. Yeah, Big Head mode does some funny things. We're gonna have a big laugh from some other things with Big Head mode.
Thanks, Alfred. I'm heading there now.
All right, so we're gonna escort Gordon. There's some tanks there, so we'll destroy them first. Oops. 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 Okay.
He's using high caliber rounds. Titanium tipped, maybe tungsten carbide. Whatever it is, it's ripping us to shreds. Stop him! Cauldron unit destroyed.
Alright, so we're gonna head on into the clock tower. And so when we get into the clock tower, we're going to get this nice flashback sequence. So here, Barbara is not in a wheelchair. She's walking.
Is that you again?
She makes the mistake of not looking through her peephole. And we see Joker with a flashback hat who shoots her in the back. This is how she gets paralyzed. We're not going to look at her too much. We can look at some... Joker makes a very tasteless joke. Some newspapers, some martial arts posters, some dance trophies.
Just wait till your father gets home.
I don't really think this is as funny as Joker thinks it is, but... Alright, so now we have to look up Barbara, then turn around to get this text to appear, then look at it and get the clock tower to appear.
Nothing like a trip down old...
So what's going to happen is we're now going to tell Gordon that Barbara works for us. He's going to get really mad at us, punch us in the face, and then leave to go find Barbara himself. After that, we're supposed to track Oracle, do a Predator, do some tank fights, do a Predator, find Riddler, do some more tank fights, find the car that the Oracle was kidnapped in, then do some more tank fights, do some more fights, then find Penguin is involved in this, track Penguin, a lot of stuff. But what we're going to do is just skip the Penguin's hideout directly. We're going to use our storage to do something called a zip. So what that does is that teleports you to a specific part of the map based on where you last reloaded from checkpoint. So we last reloaded from checkpoint in the overworld, so that teleports us here. Oops. This is not the most optimal movement, but it's okay. So now we're gonna go skip to Penguin directly. This cuts out like 20 minutes off of the glitchless run, which is a lot. right, so Penguin's hideout is right here in this building. The door to it is closed. It's supposed to open through a specific story trigger, but we can get around that by just glitching through the door. And now we are at Penguin, so.
What do we do about the bat?
Batman, don't worry about it. Shh. This is gonna be great. He doesn't even know you're here. Come on.
The Arkham Knight, Barbara Gordon. Tell me where they are.
So that's who we had. The commissioner's little girl.
I'll break every bone in your body.
So with big heads,
They were going to
he has secret inhuman tricks.
Pharmaceutical company or something.
Yeah, so this is important dialogue. We find out about some guy named Simon Stagg.
Lie to me. I'm not. I swear. They said he's about to leave Gotham. Those
Yeah.
agents over the West River.
Yeah, and he has some airships, so we're gonna... So also what happened was, in order to find Penguin's hideout, we met up with one of our sidekicks named Nightwing, or former sidekicks. And then we told Nightwing that we'll just track Penguin, he doesn't have to worry. Now we're in a bit of a pickle, but fortunately, Nightwing comes in and rescues us. Batman will never thank him because he's Batman, but I'm grateful. Batman doesn't know what gratitude is, though, so... Oops. Alright, so beat up these guys. So Penguin has these weapons caches. We're Batman, so we're gonna always destroy these things.
Let's put him out of business.
Some reputable businessman.
Seriously? You believe that?
So you can cancel this animation where you close the door, but I haven't gotten it in like 3 months, literally. I don't know if it's difficult, but I don't understand it enough to get it consistently. So now we're gonna get out of here. It's actually faster to glitch on out of here like this, so we're not gonna actually climb up this ladder. We're gonna do something called a door cancel, where we open the door but stay in and stay inside, and then unload the interior area. Alright, let's see if I can glide here. There we go.
Though it has been a while, maybe a little rusty.
So what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to actually call our Batmobile to shoot these guys, which is kind of funny because when we're gonna then do a fear takedown on these guys, and they're gonna say he's in his car. That was... Alright, we're gonna destroy... We have to destroy these sentries. We'll just cancel it because it's faster. And also you should notice the door is closed, so that's also why we had to glitch out of here. There's a way, you could also reload from checkpoint to get that open, but it's just faster to not do that. Alright, so now we're gonna head on over to Stagg's airships. So, there we go.
Scarecrow. Boss wants to come aboard.
So now I want to grapple top right here. And then grapple this gargoyle right here.
Whoa. They're using weapons? I thought this was a fair hypothetical fight.
Hopefully there's this flying drone that sometimes sees you and can really mess up this predator. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If you're too slow, usually that's how it happens. So Stag's airship is attached to this watchtower that the militia is in. So we're gonna just take out this watchtower. Okay. What?
My drone control is not responding. Check it out.
Alright.
Okay, I've taken out the militia. Now to disable the tower.
Yes, disable the tower. So after we do this, now we should be able to go onto the airships, but the airship doors are locked. And the only way Batman can get through locked doors is by using a trusty gadget called the remote hacking device, which happens to coincidentally be right next to the airship that we want to go into. So we'll just go on and get that.
There's a service hatch on top of the airship. I can use the remote hacking device to get in.
Alright, so now we will hack this. So what we're supposed to do now is to we're gonna go through this first airship. There are two airships. There's Stag Alpha and Stag Beta. So this is Stag Alpha. We're gonna go through it to a degree. We're supposed to go all the way through it. Then we have to then destroy some guns on the second airship, and then we can go to the second airship and then confront Scarecrow. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a skip so that we go to the second airship directly. Yeah. So first what we have to do is...
Not yet.
So the first thing we do is we have to tilt the airship. I'm trying to cancel an animation here. I'm messing up though. There we go.
Barber's the priority.
Basically, the first step is to make sure you tilt this so that you break that window over there. Then next step is you go in here, get the autosave, and reload from checkpoint. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do a zip. And the zips, as I mentioned, are relative to where you last reloaded from checkpoint. So if we reload from checkpoint in Stag, we're going to go to a specific spot based on the fact that we reloaded in Stag. So now we tilt these crates, and now the next thing is cool. What we're going to do is we're going to activate an autosave, which does two things. One thing it does is it gives us this thing called the one-hit KO, so we're able to take out enemies much faster. And second thing it does is it repositions the airship so that we can actually do this skip. At least that second thing is what I was told. I've never actually tested that. But, General don't want to get spotted by that drone. Alright, so we're going to leave this airship, and now what we're going to do is we're going to get to first we're going to get storage, and then we're going to go to a specific spot so that the airship is unloaded, but it will load in once we fly to a certain spot. So I'll show you what it is. So we're going to go here, which basically is fairly close to the second airship, but it's still unloaded. So now we're gonna zip onto the second airship, and now when we go glide here, the second airship is going to start loading in. So now it's loaded in. And now we can go straight to this predator that right before we confront Scarecrow. Stag has been doing human experimentation with the fear toxin, so he's a bad dude. We don't really like him. Alright, I'm gonna do something kind of funny. I shouldn't be doing this on easy, but it's kind of fun to showcase. And since this is a marathon, I'll just showcase it. But this is very useful on hard. So if you exit this and then you do a door cancel on here, then go back in, then the enemies don't see you. So I can like run here. I'm like right in front of him and he doesn't see me. So we can just take these guys out very quickly. On easy, this is actually slower, but on hard, this is like incredibly useful. And like even if I do a loud takedown, they still can't see me. And then, yeah.
I can't take the minigunner down silently. I'll need to finish him with a series of strikes.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get storage again. We're going to use this storage in about 20 minutes. So now we're going to confront Scarecrow. So usually I let my chat choose which Scarecrow to do. So there are two of them. If nobody chooses, what I'll do is I'll go in the middle and let the game decide.
Or am I going to get another hit of that delicious gas while you watch helpless as she dies?
In general, I choose the left, but, yeah.
Roll up. It's the big...
Okay, so the game shows the right. Wait, aw. Too late. Joker was gone. Yeah, so we picked the wrong one, because I picked the right one, but the chat said left. I'm joking, there is no right one, but...
Drowning you in your greatest fears. What can you see? A city engulfed in fear. Betrayed by those you trust the most. Your darkest secrets revealed. As I tear your mind apart, Gotham will watch. I will cut that mask from your face, and the whole world will see the fear in your eyes. Then they too will understand. There is no savior, no more hope.
And then this part's cool. You see his eyes are green, because now he's becoming more Joker-like now that he's more Joker-like now that he got gassed again.
Look at me! I'm amazing! And this body! I can't believe how strong it is!
What? I thought I was gonna... Okay, this part's really funny with big head mode. Anyways, I'm gonna be right back. If you have donations to read, this would be a good time to read them. Okay. If you don't, then I'll just be right back.
Come on, finish him. Look at him.
No donations right now. Can take a second to talk about Movember if you got enough time. Is my mic? Yeah. Hold up, let me pull it up. Sorry. So all proceeds will go directly to the Movember Foundation, benefiting research towards men's mental health and suicide prevention, prostate cancer, and testicular cancer. Since 2003, Movember has funded more than 1,250 men's projects around the world, challenging the status quo, shaking up men's health, and transforming the way health services reach and support men. Back to you.
But it does show potential.
You're trapped. There's nowhere to run.
Who said anything about running?
Alright, so... Now, sorry, I went AFK, I needed to use the restroom. Sorry about that. So basically, Scarecrow escapes. Sorry about that, yeah. So what happens is now Scarecrow is basically told us that Oracle is in the same safe house in Chinatown that that we were at before. So we're gonna head on over there. Aww. So this is also a long, unskippable cutscene.
What do you mean?
Barbara. Scarecrow was punishing me. He killed
So this is normal heads, but Oracle's head is still big. It's kind of
We
funny.
need to focus. The people of Gotham need you.
I should have protected her, Alfred. She's dead because of me.
Sir, please listen.
Yeah, this game has a lot of unskippable cutscenes. So this is also one. This is probably the longest in the run.
Scarecrow has the means.
And then there's another one that is also pretty long.
Him from making it operational, but it's only a matter of time. Sir, did you hear me?
He heard you. He's wondering how he can live with himself.
Master Bruce, don't let Miss Gordon's death... Don't let it be for nothing.
Oh, you can't bring her back. Let Uncle Jay take charge.
So Oracle, so what happened also, I think I didn't mention, Oracle basically was gassed and then shoots herself in the head. So Batman is displeased, or he's very sad,
Alfred, run us out
but we'll move forward.
Let me know the instant you locate the cloud.
So we remember that Ivy is immune to Scarecrow's toxin, so we're gonna go see if we can find a way to counteract the toxin using her in some way.
She doesn't have a choice.
So back to GCPD we go.
Batman, what happened at the safe house was not some cruel game. It was necessary. Tonight is about more than Gotham. It's about what you became in that room.
So let's see here.
That's what I want the world to see.
Alright, so once we talk to Ivy, basically what Ivy's going to tell us is that there's a plant. She's not able to make it. She basically is able to make spores that counteract the toxin. By the way, so we hit this guy earlier. Now we can like threaten to hit him and he hits his head on the toilet. It's really funny.
Hey man, you okay? Watch yourself.
Basically, so we'll talk to Aaron Cash, but basically Ivy tells us that she can use a big tree in order to make more spores, but
I need your help.
so we're gonna take her to one, which is in the Botanical Gardens. On the way there, we're gonna try to exit, but Cash warns us that there's a large tank outside, or the specific words, there's one mother of a tank out there. So we're gonna investigate.
There's the tank. I'll need to scan its hull to find a weakness I can exploit.
So we're gonna scan this tank. Usually, casually you're gonna scan it from vantage points, but you can actually just get right up next to it and scan it.
The Cobra drone has enough.
Then what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to actually get back to the Batmobile, but it's actually faster to go behind this sign. The main reason for getting behind this sign also is that this tank doesn't see you. This is the Cobra tank, and the way that you destroy these Cobra tanks is you get behind them, wait for it to lock on to the thing in the back, and then shoot it. I had the missile barrage charged up, so you can also do that. So yeah, that's how you destroy those. We're gonna see a lot more of those down the line. They're probably the bane of my existence in this category, especially, but definitely this game as well. There's a lot of RNG involved with them, and like it's kind of unforgiving if you get bad RNG. So here we're getting a Batmobile upgrade, although we're actually not getting any upgrade because we skipped the cutscene where we actually choose our upgrades. So, and now we're gonna head to the Botanical Gardens. We're gliding here because you're supposed to drive across a bridge that's supposed to be lowered at this point, but it's not actually lowered because we skipped the part that actually loads that bridge, that lowers that bridge. I'm also going to get a tank upgrade here. This is called Cobra Lure, which is really useful because it lets you basically, if you shoot your gun anywhere, it'll basically, sometimes it'll make the Cobras go in that direction. Not all the time, which is actually pretty annoying. I think that I'm gonna just wait a bit. So you're supposed to get behind these Cobras. Once you lock on, then you can shoot it. And this last one is... I don't know where he is. Ah.
Get me to the Botanical Gardens in one piece.
So we get Ivy to the Botanical Gardens. She tells us she needs more plants, but they're deep underground because, and most of them are dead. So we're gonna try to find a way to get those plants back up to the surface. So apparently Lucius might have something that we can use, so we'll head on over to him. Aw, sometimes you can drive over it and get a little bit further to the door, but I messed it up. Alright, so we're heading to Wayne Tower to do this. Some tanks that come in, very annoying, so we'll just take them on, take care of them first, give them some Wayne hospitality.
Lost the Mamba drone. Batman took out a drone. Drone's offline. Wayne Tower. That appears to be the last.
Alright, so Lucius is going to give us something give us some sonar, which we're going to use to basically try to unlock Ivy's plant. I like to go this way because it's like a couple seconds slower than there's a more optimal way, but it's a bit safer if things go wrong. So I generally like to go this way. And while you get in a tank fight, you should scan the do like an initial scan, then we're going to do a deep scan, which will unleash Ivy's plant. The militia's going to try to destroy it, but we're going to... Oops. So now Ivy's plant is grown, but it's not enough, I don't think. Or maybe it is enough, right, for now. So now what we want to do is, there's something called the Cloudburst, which is basically a dispersal device to release Scarecrow's fear toxin. We want to find out where it is. So we're gonna go to the Panessa Studios, which is where one of our major headquarters is, in order to find it. We're gonna use the computer there. Unfortunately, what we're gonna find out is that so there are a couple things here. So one is that in Panessa Studios, this is where our Jokers are, and Robin is helping try to find a cure for that. Secondly, we're not going to tell Robin that Barbara's dead, because why would we? They're just dating. I don't think he would care. Third, we're going to find out that we're not able to actually use our Batwing to look for the Cloudburst, because there's some things on Founders Island preventing us from doing that, so we're going to stop those. We're also going to get this freeze grenade. This is going to be very important for doing some glitches down the line. Second most important gadget. So we'll use our computer to find all that out. What we're going to do now is zip on out of here. So the entire world's unloaded. What we found is that there's a drone here that we're going to try to use in order to basically see if we can use it to hack other drones. And then what we're going to do is, on Founders Island, there's a radar, there's a second radar, and then there's a long-range missile launcher. So hopefully we can use whatever's on this drone to help us destroy those three things. So and you also saw the entire world was unloaded because of that zip that I did. Now the world's loaded back.
The relay chip will allow me to temporarily blind the drones.
All right.
That should give me enough time to take out the 2 radar towers.
So yeah, we can use that thing we pulled from there to blind drones, which is going to be very useful for this radar. Not for too much else, but for this radar, it's important.
I need to destroy the radar
it's a
before the
tutorial.
drone comes back online.
So now we're going to head to the second radar. What we're supposed to do is fight a bunch of guys on there. But we don't have to fight these guys there. So if we look in detective vision, we'll see the radar is right there. Whoops. There we go. We can just glitch in through the floor and do that. Oops, I did not want to climb there. So now we need to get out of here. Unfortunately, this door is closed, so what we have to do is get out of here somehow. So the way you get out of here is you get corner cover, and then you're able to grapple out. Very, very intended. Not a glitch at all. So now we're gonna head to the missile launcher. Take out these guys that are here. And this is our one-hit KO in action. It's very helpful for saving time in Predators.
The armor on that missile launcher will be too thick for me to penetrate. I need something with a little more punch. First, I need to lower the
so now we need to use our Batmobile to destroy that missile launcher. So we're lowering the bridge, or we're going to lower the bridge. Unfortunately, there are a bunch of Cobras here. This Cobra battle is quite annoying, but hopefully it goes okay. Hopefully it goes well, though. So where is this guy? Is he coming? I don't know which bridge he's coming down. I think it's this one. Or which ramp he's coming down. Alright, this is not bad, so hopefully... Alright, so now these guys are going to come down the same ramp, it looks like. Please don't see me. So that's the Cobra lure. It basically can help point the Cobra away from you. Alright, is he? Yeah, he's coming. Can I lure him that way? Uh-oh, he's gonna see me. Where's that other one? Is he like... Alright. Where'd he go? Okay. I don't want to use my missile barrage here. I'm going to use it for the missile launcher. Alright, so that wasn't the greatest fight, but it could have been worse. I could have died, for example. So, we want to use the Batmobile, but now the Arkham Knight has brought a bunch of people here to try to stop us. So we'll deal with them. Not too concerned. Also, the Arkham Knight is here. Maybe we can ask him a question.
Oh, seriously? He heard you boys coming from a mile away. Those pointy ears aren't just for show, you know.
I'm gonna get the next most important upgrade, which is the multi-ground takedown. This will make fights a lot faster down the line. So we'll ask our question.
Are you?
Unless he doesn't want to answer it, that's cool as well. Let's just take out these other guys. Alfred also isn't in big head mode, which is very disappointing. Alright, so we're going to destroy this missile launcher very quickly with our missile barrage. That's why I charged it up.
Alfred, the Arkham Knight's missile launcher is destroyed. I'm calling in the Batwing to start searching for the cloudburst. Upload the results to the clock tower once it's complete.
Okay,
so now the Batwing is doing analysis to look for the cloudburst. So we're going to go to the clock tower to analyze the results. But the Batwing works very quickly, it seems, or we expect it to.
I promise I'll have control of your body right back when my turn's done.
Yeah, so we have a very long cutscene coming up. So we're gonna see Tim and Oracle are actually dating. I think they're engaged at this point. So the fact that we're not telling Robin or Tim about the Oracle dying is kind of mean, I think. Yeah, so this is a long cutscene.
Alfred, pull up the footage from the Batwing's onboard scanner.
Certainly, sir.
As you can see, the Batwing has completed an orbital sweep of Founders Island, but there's still no sign of the cloudburst. I will, of course, let you know when the situation changes, but one moment, sir. I'm receiving an emergency broadcast from the movie studios.
Batman, I hope you can hear this. The movie studios are under attack. Robin is in trouble.
Listen to me very carefully. You need to lock down that room. We can't let the infected get out.
Of course. Tell me what.
Henry!
That's enough from you! Well, look who's too late to save the day. How's it going, Batbrain? It's been a while.
Harley Quinn.
So you do remember me. That's weird, because you killed the only thing I ever loved. And now I find you've been keeping a whole new
Harley Quinn,
generation of
yeah.
focus.
Alright, so so basically Harley Quinn came in and took over our Panessa Studios thing and released all the Jokers. So we're gonna have to go stop that. So the issue though is that we did a zip out of Panessa Studios after going down the elevator. And what happens when you do that is that basically the elevator is still down, so we actually need it to be up in order to... If you do this the intended way, you actually need the elevator to be up, otherwise you soft lock. You're not able to actually go down the elevator to complete the game. So fortunately we have a way around that. We're going to do some glitches in order to actually get down the elevator. So first off, there's some thugs. There's some thugs here. Yeah, this is big head mode. Oh, what? I like to blow these guys up, but sometimes you can blow all of them up. Alright, so we'll try to open this door. We're not going to be able to. There was a gadget that we picked up. We never actually picked it up. We skipped the part where we actually learn about this gadget, which is the voice synthesizer. So basically, we're able to use that to mimic people's voices. Just assume we learned about the Arkham Knight's driver before in the run, which we skipped that part. So. Alright, so in order to get down the elevator, what we're going to do first, we obviously have to do this. This is intended and unskippable. Then what would happen is we would unlock the door and open it, and then we have to do a predator, and then once we do that predator, we can go down the elevator. But if we do that, we're not going to actually be able to go down the elevator, because the elevator will not be up. So what we're going to do is glide on over to this wall here, which has no collision and lets us glide out of bounds, which is very cool. Then we're going to open the door from out of bounds first. So then we open it again. Now we have to wait until the bad guys open up this door for a very specific reason, because basically now the entire overworld is deloaded, but then also because we waited until that door opened, the elevator is also deloaded. So this lets us glide to the bottom level where the elevator would be, and now we can go here, which is where Robin is. Now instead of helping Robin, what we're going to actually do is trigger a dialogue and then glide on over to this door right here, or far out over there. So hopefully I don't mess this up. If I do, then you reload and you just fight Robin and do everything the intended way. So here I glide into the door like this, and then open it. So now there's an... Actually, I'm not... So now we can continue. So now what we're doing is we're rescuing we're trying to get the first Joker that Harley let out, which is Christina Bell. So there's this tutorial for dual team takedowns. Before we do this room, we're gonna go get some storage, which we'll use a little bit later.
You need practice.
So with dual team takedowns, you can actually cancel them as well, which is very nice, because the dual team takedown animation is very slow. So we'll do that for this minigunner right here. And then just take out these guys. Take out this guy. By the way, we lose our one-hit KO in this Predator, so that's why I'm taking them out almost the normal way, but also canceling animations. So we do the same thing here with these guys, just cancel the dual team takedown, and then fear takedown these guys. So when we open this door, make sure you counter, because Christina Bell's gonna pop out, and if you don't counter, she'll scratch Robin's face up, which is funny and all, but it's also a bit slower. So, alright, so we got Christina Bell. Now what we're gonna do is we want to go over to Albert King, but instead of going there the intended way, what we're gonna do is glitch our way over there, out of bounds. So Albert King is normally a pretty long fight where you have to like, it's like a 2 or 3 minute long fight. But if we glitch out of bounds like this and go up here, then what we can do is throw a batarang at him, and then now he's dead. So that's the Albert King fight. So now we're gonna confront him. He's invisible now. But now you can see him in this room. He's like he's not moving. He's like a broken shell of a man. Alright, so now that's the fight. That's the rest of that henchman there. So now what we're gonna do is we need to get out of this room. Otherwise we'll have to reload from checkpoint at some point. Which we don't want to do. So now we want to go to Johnny Charisma, who's the last Joker. We can't actually get there the intended way because of the glitch that we did. The doors are actually closed, so we're gonna swing clip there instead, or glitch over there instead. It's also faster to do it this way, but like if we wanted to do it the intended way, we wouldn't be. Actually, we might be able to. We probably actually are able to, but we don't want to, it's slow.
Henry, Robin's heading.
And now we're gonna get this flashback scene. So this is Jason Todd. He was the second Robin. The first one was Dick Grayson, and now the third one is Tim Drake, who's the current Robin. Jason Todd was kidnapped by Joker and tortured and eventually killed. There are actually two cutscenes like this, but we're gonna this is the only one we're gonna see. The second one we skip because of the glitches that we did to get to Albert King and Johnny Charisma.
Not that it'll do you any good.
Why won't you just kill me?
What? Oh, no. I'm not going to kill you. Not yet, anyway. You're my sidekick now. Imagine it. You and me, out on the streets, starting fights, picking on the weak. A regular dynamic duo. Just like Bats and that new kid of his.
No, he wouldn't.
You think? So, this isn't Batman, then? Oh, weird. The pointy ears are usually a dead giveaway. I didn't want to show you that photo. Really, I didn't. But, well, it was the only way for you to get closure. Now, I know it hurts, but sometimes...
So I'm gonna do something that I know will upset everybody soon. I'm gonna have to turn off Big Head mode. I know it's tragic, but I'm gonna have to turn it off. Because there's a code that I need to enter that is impossible to do or it's not impossible, but it's really annoying to do if Big Head mode is turned on, so...
This lock is mechanical with no digital components. I won't be able to use the remote hacking device.
Sweet music together.
Henry, I need
So
your
I
help.
turned off big head mode.
I need you to send me the CCTV footage from the camera in stage C. You can use the computer in that room to do it.
Yeah, so there's a mechanical code thing that we need to enter. And basically, I need to enter the code, and big head mode blocks the actual thing where I enter the numbers in, so I'd rather be able to see it.
Technology is very interesting. Okay, I can see the camera.
Now highlight the track for the last 10 minutes. And so I see. Thanks, Henry.
So the code here is 0539, and that's a reference to May in 1939, which is when the first Batman comic came out. You can also enter in the wrong code 5 times, and then Batman will just punch the code, the thing that you enter the code into. I don't know why you didn't just do that to begin with, but.
Don't be shy.
So this is a lot of people have, this is like everyone's favorite part of the game or the run. People love this song. So fun fact, Mark Hamill was originally not going to be in this game because the Joker voice is really hard on him, but then he found out that he has this singing solo and decided to do it.
The asylum. Anarchy ruled. It was wild, but through it all you never smiled. Joke's on you. I'm in your head, so look who's laughing now. Remember in Arkham.
Oh, this is Mark Hamill?
Yeah. Whoops.
I thought he retired from the part after Arkham City.
No, he was going to, but then he decided to be in this game because of the singing solo. At least that's the trivia I read online.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I know that they got a new Joker for Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
When I've been watching you run this game, I was like, that guy sounds so much like Hamill. Like, they did a good job casting him.
Yeah. I thought the guy in Arkham Origins did a really good job as well, but yeah, it's not the same.
Well, it is technically a younger Joker, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely Mark Hamill.
That's all the bombs disarmed. Time to take down Charisma.
Alright, I'm gonna be very careful here, because I don't want to get spotted by accident and die.
No encore.
And he's a professional singer? Even Alfred sings better than this guy.
Good work, Robin. Robin, wait here with the...
Alright, so now we're gonna head on over to the exit. There's this minigunner here. He's not supposed to be there but he's there because we skipped the actual part where we take him out. But we'll just freeze him. No big deal. He won't bother us. Also, in big head mode, Batman's head sticks out of the floor, which is kind of funny.
Shut the gate. Now she wants it open. I think she's gone crazy.
So, fun fact, if you wait for like 5 minutes in this scene, Harley actually will kill Robin. But I'm not going to do that. Also, if you try to exit the grate, then Batman says, I shouldn't break cover, Harley could kill Robin. So when I play this, as a meme, I just like spam the button to try to exit the grate. People like to meme about that.
Harley could kill Robin. I shouldn't break cover. Harley could kill Robin.
I stole that joke from someone else, but they haven't sued me yet. Oops, I didn't realize he was gonna change directions.
can I say? I'm irresistible.
We need to get back to the cells. You take Brown. I've got Quinn.
Alright, so people always want me to look at Harley in like an inappropriate area, but I never do that. It's like, I think that's kind of weird. Oh, so what's really funny is once we go through this door, there are going to be thugs out here, and the reason why there are thugs out here is because we never actually fought them. What we did is we just ran by them to trigger a specific dialogue. So they're going to be in here during this entire cutscene, which is actually really funny because this is like a really serious cutscene. So what happened is that Henry actually was not symptomless. He actually was turning into Joker. And he ends up killing all the other Jokers because he wants to, quote-unquote, purify the gene pool. Then he's about to kill Batman, but then he sees Batman's eyes turn green. And he then realizes that Batman is also going to become a Joker, and Batman is clearly a stronger Joker than Henry Adams, so Henry Adams then shoots himself. Harley is naturally devastated because she's gone from 4 Jokers back down to 0, which is kind of sad. She doesn't believe Batman is actually a Joker. But yeah, now Robin makes the very reasonable point that Batman should lock himself up because if if he turns into Joker, then Robin will not be able to stop him. Very reasonable point in my opinion. So, Batman's locking himself up. Tim's gonna run off. Sometimes Tim gets stuck on these thugs, and then you'll just see him like vanish into thin air.
We'll be fine.
We'll see if that happens. I don't think that might happen. It might not. It didn't happen.
Security lockdown initiated.
And someone mentioned in like a stream I was doing that the thugs are very courteous, that they're not looking at Batman after he took off the mask. So we want to spawn in Joker here. He's going to tell us another story.
Well, fairly certain anyway. Hey, I never finished my story about Jason Todd, did I?
We're going to put on our mask, which is, because it's in big head mode, it's like kind of messed up. It's like underneath the chair. We want to squeeze our way past these guys and trigger this. So now these guys over there are going to run up to us and basically interrupt the cutscene. It's not interrupt it, but they're going to show up on camera. It's really funny.
Have you got something?
So basically you have Joker over there who's filming Jason Todd, but then you can see like the guys, if they're in between Jason and the camera, they show up. So it's actually like dynamically done, not pre-rendered.
Excellent.
So.
Of course you do. Did you get that, Bats? Kid's not yours anymore. He's mine.
Yeah, so I like how this is supposed to be like a super serious cutscene, but then you have these guys here which make it ridiculous. And it's all big head mode.
Hey, I never asked. What's the big secret? Who is the big bad bat? His name. Tell me.
Of course, sir. It's...
Never could stand a tattletale. That's why I like to work alone. No one to spoil the punchline. You should try it sometime. After all, you've seen what happens when you drag your friends into this crazy little game of ours.
Alright, so turns out that was all just in Batman's head. He never actually got in the cell. So what he does instead is he locks Robin in the cell. By the way, I just want to mention he hasn't yet told Robin about Barbara being dead. You can optionally tell him after you lock him in the cell, which is just cruel. So we're not, and it's also slow, so we're not going to do that. But it's also cruel. So we're going to exit here. So if you're lucky, one of these guys will hit you while you're talking to Alfred, and that breaks you out of the animation, the dialogue a bit faster. Okay, so now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to go to Ivy, and we defend her plant. We then fight some cobras. Then the fear toxin gets released by the cloudburst. After that, we decide to go to Stag's airship again in order to in order to see if Stag has any ideas on how to fix stop the cloudburst. And also our Batmobile gets disabled. What we're going to do is we're going to skip a lot of that, and we're going to go straight to Stag. What we do is we do a nice glitch called Cloudless. So we're going to actually skip the animation, or not the animation, but the cutscene where the fear toxin actually gets released. So the game is going to, after we do this, the game is going to think that the toxin is released, but there's not going to actually be any gas anywhere. Alright, so open this. I'm going to pause it until the autosave goes away. Then you have him open the door and get another autosave and then reload. And now we basically glitched onto Stag's airship after the toxin got released, but we didn't actually get the animation where the toxin got released. So
Stag got out somehow.
So there's a glitch I can do after that. I'm probably gonna attempt it. It's a bit risky, but it's probably the most intricate glitch intricate skip in the run. So I think it's worth showcasing to see if I get it. All right, so we'll take these guys out. Alright, so that's the Predator. Now we're going to find Stag underneath these floorboards. And what he's going to do is he's going to give us a power cell that's going to let us repair our Batmobile.
Alfred, Stag.
So after this, we need to reload because we need to... It's kind of weird, but we need to reload because we need to get out of this airship, and we're going to do a zip to get out. And we'll zip to the wrong place if we don't reload. So that's the... Whoops. Alright, so I'm going to do this next thing. There's basically what's going to happen is we're going to repair our Batmobile. Then we're going to have to go through some tunnels in order to release another one of Ivy's plants. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip going through that entire tunnel. One, because we have time, and two, I have backup saves in case I mess up. So I'm going to attempt it. It's a lot of setup in it, and it's a bit risky. But basically what we do is we glitch out of here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to this place here, which is Port Adams, and then there's a tunnel that'll load. So if you see in front of us, that's the entrance to the tunnel. What we're going to do is get into the tunnel much earlier than we're supposed to. So we get this autosave and this dialogue. Then we immediately leave. And then we're going to... I think I might be a little low, but if I'm too low, I'll just do another dive bomb. Yeah, I'm too low. So now we can try to grapple out of here. So now we're going to repair our Batmobile. And I'll explain the reason why we actually went into that subway in a bit, because it seems kind of weird, right? You go into the subway and then leave. So first we're gonna get some storage, because I like storage. All my homies love storage. So we'll repair the Batmobile.
the power core slowly, or the failsafe lock will kick in.
So yeah, we pull this out. So basically what just happened is Batman dove into fear toxin, but it's kind of funny because there's actually no fear toxin right now because we did cloudless. So Batman's like choking on the fear toxin, but he's choking on for no reason. Someone I remember in a YouTube comment was like, wow, Batman's so weak. He's choking for no reason. Oh, that was funny.
Stay calm. Take deep, slow breaths. Deep, slow breaths.
So we replace the power core, and then we'll be able to use our Batmobile. So the reason why we went into that tunnel early is because if we load that area in again, now we will actually be able to get out of the Batmobile. So right now, once we get in the Batmobile, in the story, and even after you do Cloudless, you're not actually going to be able to get out of it. But we need to get out of it in order to skip to the end of the tunnel.
Give me a moment, Alfred. I'll be fine.
Also, Batman's head like sticks out of the Batmobile. Is like there's no like window on the Batmobile. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're going to sit here for a bit to make sure that we are able to load in the area and get out of the Batmobile. I like to actually get out of the Batmobile just to make sure. It loses like 2 seconds, but I don't really like counting seconds that much for that. Because I can like miscount, count too fast, and then not be able to get out. I've done that before. So now we're going to scan this church, but we're not going to be... We need to get deeper in order to do that. That's why we need to go to the tunnel. Whoops, this way. Alright, so now we will do the same clip again, or the same glitch to get out, and we're going to go back to the subway again. The thing is, we need the Batmobile in order to get into the we need our Batmobile in the subway. Like, we can't just proceed on the intended way because we need the Batmobile, and we're not actually able to call the Batmobile this early in the subway. So... So what we'll do, though, is we can zip out of here. And then what we're going to do is glide to the end of the tunnel, which is in front of us. I want to get a grapple here. Alright, good. There's some Cobras here. This skip can go wrong if the Cobras spot you. It's actually really annoying when that happens, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Alright, so what we do is we glide to this area. We want to get like kind of close to this part to load in, yeah, this area that just loaded in. Then we want to make sure it then deload like the rest of the area. Oh, that didn't work. Alright, I'm gonna do it the safe way, which is you look here, then now the area is deloaded. So line launch here. I need to wire walk at some point, like right here. Then line launch over to here. They like deloaded for a little bit, which is a little scary, but it's fine. So then look over here and then call the Batmobile. So now you're able to call the Batmobile. Now what we want to do is there's this tunnel underneath us. So what we want to do is spawn the Batmobile inside of that tunnel. So if we just carefully fall off, eventually the Batmobile will spawn inside of this tunnel. So now we're at the end of the tunnel. So now we will go and go here, get a autosave and reload from checkpoint. So the reason why this skip is risky, one is that if you mess it up, you lose a bunch of time, but also if I die in the next few fights, then I actually will soft lock the game. So I have backup saves in case that happens, but it'll be very unfortunate if I die. You also have these things. You also can upgrade your armor in this game. We call it bat snacking. Basically, if you upgrade your armor, it will also upgrade your. It'll basically refill your health. So I can bat snack if I need to. This tank fight you won't soft lock in, but the fight after it and the fight after that you will soft lock in. So you want to stay like in this area because Ivy will help you. Ivy will help you destroy some tanks, which is nice. It can be kind of annoying, but like it's more annoying due to miscommunication issues where Ivy like destroys a tank that you want to destroy. Overall, it's actually very helpful to be here. Unfortunately, Ivy doesn't destroy this missile launcher, which would be very helpful if she did. So destroy this guy. Destroy this guy. So basically, when the tank count goes down to 12, that's when the fight's over. The reason why it's not 0 is because we skipped a tank fight, and so So basically, in this tank count, it includes the tanks from that tank fight that we skipped. So there should be. Okay, there are 2 more. These last 2 are always stragglers. They like don't show up sometimes when you want them to or need them to. Okay, there's one. Okay, there we go. So now this next thing is a Cobra battle. This is the hardest part on easy. This is the hardest part of the run because the RNG can be really bad. It's not really that much easier than hard, and these things will 2-shot you. So if you get bad RNG and get cornered, you will die. So that's why it's important to bat snack if I have to. So I got very lucky there by not getting spotted. Alright. Uh-oh. That's not good. I'm gonna take a little bit of a risk. I'm gonna go this way. I don't think this is gonna work though. Alright. It did not work the way I wanted it to. I'm gonna hope that the guy gets lured that way. Okay, good. And so actually it's kind of interesting why it soft locks here. Basically, we were supposed to do a tank fight, and the objective that basically the game dynamically updated the objectives properly, but if we reload from an autosave, the game is the autosave is actually in a bad state. It's gonna think that there's an objective that we should be getting to that we haven't actually gotten to because we skipped it, and we're not going to be able to actually do that objective. So the objectives get messed up, and that's how you soft lock. Okay. This is not the worst, I think. I just need to wait for the cloudburst to... Okay, good.
How's the cloudburst operating?
Its power source is internal, but the device has been modified.
Yeah, or if the game crashes here, I'll have to load a backup save.
A rupture will set off a chain.
Which will be a shame, but
take out the tank as well.
I'm reconfiguring your scanner to locate the vehicle's coolant lines. Good luck, sir.
So oh, whoops! I scanned a little too early. What? Okay, there we go.
The coolant lines run close to the surface of the tank. I should be able to rupture them with a shell.
All right, so doing this cloudburst tank's actually not that hard. right, we want to lure it to the clock tower, which we happen to be at right now. And then what we do is we just circle around this building. If he starts to cut us off, we just continue around it. Or if we have to change directions, like right now, I think he's going to change directions. No, he didn't. Okay, now he's changed. Okay, now we go this way. So.
You will have your chance to kill him. I'm not waiting anymore.
You don't want to take damage from him because we have this missile barrage that we actually want to use in the last phase of this fight. And also, obviously, you don't want to die, but the most important thing is not losing your missile barrage. I also have like a hard time reading chat in this part because I really have to pay attention to the mini-map and make very quick decisions in order to decide which way to go. The mini-map's on the right. The mini-map on the bottom right, it can also be kind of hard to read, the mini-map. Really want to just hit this side. I don't think I can. So that was slow. Usually what I generally try to do is I try to hit the sides before the front, just in case something like that happens. If he's like going through the tunnel and I can't hit the sides. So I was a little bit unlucky there. Chat's no, I don't think chat's terrible and not worth reading. What? Alright, so this one's a little bit longer. This is the longest one. Basically the Cloudburst has this overcharge that eventually goes down, and it takes longer for it to go down in each time you shoot him. I don't know why that would be the case, but that is the case. Alright, so now I have one more shot that I need to do on him. So I'll do it right here. Alright, now I'm gonna go in front of him.
Now I can get close and concentrate fire on the cloud.
So that's why I want the missile barrage. On easy, you don't need to worry too much about your health, although you can still die if you're not careful. I also want to lure him in here for two reasons. One is that the missiles that he's shooting at me will hit the ceiling. And two, he's going to spawn in a very specific... We're going to spawn after this fight in a very specific spot that's closer to where I need to go to next. So that's the Cloudburst fight. Cool to see, thank you. So we're gonna punch this guy. Maybe his helmet will get removed and we can find out who he is. Oh hey, he's Joker. Or no, I guess we're hallucinating. But yeah, Batman has this thing where if supervillains are gonna die, he can't let them die. It's really annoying.
The Arkham Knight.
Alright, so now we're gonna go head back to Ivy, who's still in her plant trying to get rid of the toxin in the city. Can I grapple? Very different than Batman Begins. I like totally forgot that that was the plot of Batman Begins. I haven't seen that movie in a while. But yeah, this is basically the same as Batman Begins. So now basically we come here. Ivy sacrifices herself in order to clear Gotham of the gas. We just skip that cutscene. It's very moving. Alfred doesn't care. He's like, well, her sacrifice was a noble one. Batman is a little bit sad over it, but he gets over it quickly as well. Anyway, so now we heard that in GCPD that they found there's this radio broadcast. We're gonna find out what it is. Spoiler alert: it's Commissioner Gordon. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna head on over to Commissioner Gordon after this. So typically, when you go to Commissioner Gordon, the intended way is you go to the Arkham Knight HQ or headquarters, and you do a bunch of puzzles in order to actually get to the lower level, and then you fight the excavator. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a skip to get to the very end of that HQ, so that we don't have to do the puzzles. It saves like 6 minutes or so.
Knight's gonna have his hands around your throat again, Batman. Next time.
I messed this up like 3 times yesterday in my run, so hopefully I don't mess it up this time. But I was very sad because I was on PB pace.
Tell me about this.
I'm also on PB pace, by the way, but I don't really anticipate this PBing. It's not as much of a PB pace as I want. So yeah, so basically what we're gonna do is skip to the end of the Arkham HQ. And then confront Excavator right after that. So I'll explain who Excavator is after we get there. So the way to do this skip is you drive out of GCPD. I eject early because you can get into tank fights. Tank fights don't matter, but they are annoying, so I just don't like getting into them. So get over here. We will get on this light post and then glitch on out of bounds again. We will grapple here just to get some speed in our glide. The visual cue is to get on the left side of this pipe on our right. This is where we go. So this is like the interior of the Arkham of like the second half of the Arkham HQ. This is the elevator. So we will grapple up here. The elevator is now loaded in. So now we want to fall, but without deloading the elevator. So then I do a couple shimmies. You don't have to. So there we go. And then this is going to deload. 1, 2, 3.5. And then on our left should be a tunnel. Yesterday that tunnel didn't spawn. So we will go into this tunnel. There we go. Got it first try. So this is the end of the first part of the Arkham HQ. So we're gonna open this door. Now we're supposed to get in the Batmobile, but because we glitched in here, the Batmobile is not here. But if we reload from checkpoint, Batmobile is now here, so very nice. Alright, so now we're going to drive through this tunnel and we're going to encounter our next boss battle, which is the Excavator. The Excavator is just a big drill that the Arkham Knight is driving. The Arkham Knight survived and is now in this thing trying to kill us. He's not very happy, even though we did save him, but he's not happy. So this Excavator is like absolutely enormous and can destroy us very easily, but it is vulnerable to these little bombs on the side of these tunnels. So in this boss fight we need to lure the Excavator so that it can get destroyed by these bombs on the side in a variety of tunnels. There are 3 tunnels. I like to use first-person mode because the camera here is absolutely terrible. So with the Excavator, what you do is it spawns in a very specific spot depending on where Batman is, and then goes in a certain direction. So I'm able to know, based on where I am, when the Arkham Knight stops talking, where the Excavator is going to spawn, and then I can anticipate where I can shoot him. So there I shot him in the right place, and now I'm going through this tunnel. This tunnel has some annoying fans. just go this way. Yeah. Alright, so that's tunnel number 1 down. So we'll do tunnel number 2. So tunnel number 2 is the one I want to do is this tunnel up here. The way that I want to do is I want to shoot him over here and then go into this tunnel. The way I do that is I go right here. Then what happens is the excavator is gonna go into that corner and then come towards like that way. So I'll be able to cut him off and shoot him once he stops talking. Once he says "forgotten in the dirt," that's the everyone's favorite line for Arkham Knight. Yeah, but now I can shoot him. This tunnel can be annoying because you can randomly hit like a rock and then flip over. Alright, so now we'll do the last tunnel. Last tunnel, you have to wait for them to talk again. Alright, so we can go here, and then he'll come in front of us, and we'll shoot him. Good. Recently, I've been like shooting him, but he doesn't see me. It's kind of annoying. I think I'm like a little bit too far from him, so I try to get a little bit closer than normal. Alright, so that's the excavator boss fight, but the excavator still isn't destroyed. This door is going to open, we pull this fan down, but then we get confronted again with the excavator. So a lot of people don't like the Batmobile, so this is their favorite part of the game. Our Batmobile gets absolutely annihilated by the excavator. That's okay. We escaped just in time. So we'll go up here. And Commissioner Gordon is tied to a chair over here, so let's just fight these guys around him. Oops. Alright, so fought those guys. So in this very important cutscene, we find out Jason Todd is the Arkham Knight,
I need to get close.
which was a shocker to absolutely no one. But yeah, that was a it's a very important cutscene that we skipped. So now we're gonna try to fight him, quote unquote, fight him / save him. We like him still, even though he's like killed so many people. We forgive him. We think that this is our fault. So in the second phase, we glide over to Jason. On easy, this fight is not a big deal. On hard, this fight is the biggest run killer. On glitchless hard, on any percent hard, it's also pretty bad, but not quite as bad. Oh, what? I'm gonna just, Alright, so this third wave is generally the hard one, where you need to get good RNG. This RNG is not great, but we'll see if we can work with it. Alright, I don't want to get spotted by Jason, so I'm gonna go here. So check out, pay attention to where he's aiming. We only need to take out 4 of these guys, by the way, and then if you grapple to Jason, then you can advance to the next wave. So or the next phase. So we took out 4 of the guys, albeit a little bit sloppily, and then took out Jason, but we took what the RNG gave us. It's not much more we can ask for. If this was hard, I would have been dead like 5 times there, so... And then this last one, you just glide to him. You're Jason.
You're Robin, Jason. You're not what he made you. Stop! Stop talking to me!
Alright, so now we rescue Gordon. Arkham Knight disappears. So, or Jason disappears. I guess now we can call him that. Alright. Now we'll go into this elevator.
Okay, Jim. I've been worse.
To confront Scarecrow with Gordon.
Jim, I just want to say, working with Barbara, it was an honor.
Don't.
Even if you'd known what she was doing, you couldn't have stopped her.
Stubborn like our old man.
Brave.
You know, you see a lot in this job. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But I'll never forget taking a witness statement from an 8-year-old boy who'd just seen his parents gunned down.
You were kind, Jim.
I was thinking, I may never get a chance to tell you this, to say sorry.
You don't need to.
He's apologizing because what we're gonna find out when we get to the top is that Barbara's actually still alive. We were just hallucinating everything involving her death. Gordon is taking us to Scarecrow so that he can save Barbara. Gordon also shoots us.
On your knees, Crane. Now.
And we fall off the building. Then Scarecrow doesn't want us dead. He then throws Barbara off the building. But we save her because we're not actually dead because we have a bulletproof. Our armor is bulletproof on easy and on hard a bit. So now we're rescuing Oracle. We need a Batmobile. Fortunately, even though ours is destroyed, Lucius has a backup, so it's nice. No, it's not easier to get through them with detective mode on. If I have detective mode on, there's a very specific reason why it's not easier. It's because there can be guys with stun sticks, and you can't really see the stun sticks if you're in detective mode. So it's actually harder in detective mode if there are stun sticks. But in Predators, I do think that I really like using detective mode. I rely on it a lot. A bit too much, actually. So usually, if you see detective mode on, it's because when you go in smoke, you'll automatically go in detective mode. So, or I could have accidentally pressed the detective mode button, which happens also reasonably often.
I'll get you set up at the precinct. We'll find your father.
Ah! Alright, so now we'll take Oracle to GCPD.
He gassed you, Bruce. You don't need to worry about us or feel responsible. We're fighting with you, not for you, okay?
It's good to have you back. Cat, I found Barbara. I'm bringing her to the lockup.
She's alive.
Scarecrow. We'll get him back, Cat.
Ah! Alright, so now... Once we drop off Barbara, we're going to set her up with a computer. Once we do that, I'm going to reload from checkpoint, again, to set up the zip that I'm going to do later on.
Barbara!
Oops, sorry, I, like, knocked my mic. I know it makes like a really loud noise when I do that. Alright, so now when we set up Oracle, we found that our servers are being investigated by the militia. So we're gonna go check that out. Uh-oh. Alright, so this fight is kind of funny. So first we're gonna take out, there are two snipers, so they'll load in. This one loaded in. Then there's a minigunner as well, we'll shoot him with our Batmobile. And then we'll take out the rest of these guys. This guy didn't hear anything because he's... Alright, looks like this guy's coming in this way, so we'll... Oops. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is get storage. Because we can't interact with our computer anyway until Scarecrow stops speaking, so it's a good opportunity to get storage.
I will peel back every layer of the Batman before the night is through.
So, restore the clock tower servers, and now we'll head back to GCPD. Ah! No! No! Okay. Alright, so... So now we're gonna go talk to Oracle again. Look for more leads on Scarecrow. And all that jazz. But when we do this, the militia is going to start shooting GCPD with a bunch of tanks. This is the GCPD assault. So we're going to obviously have to save GCPD from that. By the way, you can talk to Oracle from the other side of the wall, like this.
Great.
Alright, so yeah, we're going to have to stop the militia from attacking GCPD. Alright, so there's like a bunch of cars that are going to drive up, and what we can do is we're going to do a little skip to skip that. We're going to just zip on out of there and grapple up here. Alright, so now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to power the doors to the generator. The generator is damaged, so we're going to use a secondary generator. Ah! Not the greatest fight, but
I can power up the backup generator to get those doors open. Alright, the backup generator.
Alright, so now there are a bunch of tanks that we saw while we were gliding in here. We can open this door, or Oracle can open this door. We're gonna just fight these tanks. This tank fight's pretty hard on hard, but it's not too bad. It's like pretty easy on easy in my opinion. Okay.
Good shot. Tank under control.
We've got a systems breach. Someone's inside. Remove them. I can't. As soon as I trace the source, it switches.
Oops, that's my tank. That's Barbara's tank.
Batman, I primed my tank to explode. Just fire the shot. We can do this.
He just wasted a twin rattler.
Hacking drone. Batman, I've overcharged the tank's energy cells. It'll trigger an EMP when shot. Okay, next hack started.
He's hitting us hard. You cannot stop it, Batman. Their world is crumbling.
So one annoying thing is that you actually don't know how many tanks there are. There's usually a running count of how many tanks are left, but because we skipped that fight earlier, I don't actually know how many tanks there are. Okay. Unfortunately, that's it. Has the game lagged at all? No.
All drones destroyed. We did it. No, wait. Scarecrow's dropped infantry on the roof.
Oops.
They're trying to bypass the security lock. I can hold them off, but not.
Alright, so now there are these guys on the roof of GCPD. We're going to take them out.
You just set them up.
What? This fight is also, I think when I was starting out, this fight was pretty hard, but it's not too bad anymore. Especially on easy, it's not that bad. Alright, so that's the GCPD assault. We've stopped it. So now what's going to happen is we're getting here preemptively, but basically we're going to talk to Oracle, and she's going to tell us that Commissioner Gordon opened this Panessa door. So we're going to head on over there to see what's up. And when we get here, we're gonna find out Robin has been has been taken by Scarecrow.
So, there goes another boy wonder, lost to another super villain. If it's any consolation, I can't see him matching my incredible work with Jason, can you? The Scarecrow will probably just pump him full of fear gas and slit his little throat. Oh, what a waste. Ah, well, just you and...
Barbara is understandably displeased that we locked Robin in a cell. And she says we need to rescue him, whatever it takes. So we're gonna go do that. We're gonna go turn ourselves into Scarecrow, hopefully rescue Robin and Gordon.
Can you believe it? I was at Blackgate, the Asylum, Arkham City. Never seen Batman. Not once. Just lucky, I guess.
Alright, so Scarecrow, we're gonna go here to turn ourselves into Scarecrow.
Crazy? You give up and we're done.
We're gonna have to leave our belt on this table. So basically what Scarecrow wants to do is he doesn't want to just kill Batman. He wants to... He actually doesn't even care that much about killing Batman. He just wants to humiliate Batman in front of the world and let the world know that Batman is just a person who's scared like everybody else. So yeah.
Hiding just below the surface. I'm sure that you're scared of what will happen when I tear that mask from your face. What will we find? Your true identity? Or proof that without your mask, you are nothing? Impotent, powerless, afraid. Leave your equipment on that table. And we can find out.
So we're gonna go in this truck. Scarecrow's gonna put fear gas in it. We can kind of tell, like, it gets a little bit gassy there. You can, like, slide kick through this first-person thing. It looks kind of funny. Yeah, and Batman came in here knowing that someone would track him. We don't know who, though.
And from now on, I need your undivided attention. The nightmare is almost over. Your failure almost complete. I can see it. And soon the whole world will see it too. Your eyes betray you. You are truly...
So, now our truck crashed. Let's get out and see what's up. So this is Crime Alley. This is where Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. But this sure seems like it could be, like, just in Batman's head with the fear toxin. I don't know.
Such a happy couple. Shame about the kid.
So now, yeah, Joker's... Every time Batman gets gassed, Joker gets more powerful in his head, so... He has to, now again, fight for his sanity against a bunch of Jokers that are coming up. So in this fight, on easy, all you have to do is just punch and make sure you get critical strikes without holding a direction, and then it will work the vast majority of the time. On hard, it doesn't quite work that way, but on easy, it works very well. On normal, it also works. But yeah, you don't have to counter at all.
you want to.
This is another thing that looks funny in Big Head mode, where he breaks Joker's neck. Yeah, so obviously it's a hallucination, but he managed to still stop having Joker from taking over his mind. But with more fear gas, that might change.
And that mind is mine. It's over, Bruce. You crossed the blood-red line. And now Scarecrow's going to set...
So once we get to Scarecrow, Scarecrow's going to tie up Batman and inject him with a ton of fear toxin. And as Batman gets injected with more fear toxin, the Joker in him becomes more powerful. So this is the Joker. Right? We have this Joker mobile. And we're just shooting these guys. It charges up something called the Killing Joke. Which is just the missile barrage. So basically what happens is when Batman's greatest fear is becoming Joker, and when he gets injected with fear toxin, he basically becomes Joker. So here, I could shoot Penguin, but it's faster not to. Even though he deserves it. Then you have to shoot the hostage. You don't have to shoot Riddler, but it is faster. You do have to shoot the hostage.
I can't let you leave here alive. Not after what you just done.
But yeah, so basically, as Batman gets injected with more fear toxin, he basically becomes his greatest fear, which is the Joker. Or becoming the Joker is his greatest fear, so that's what starts to happen. So now in the cutscene, we're gonna zoom out to a cutscene where basically Batman has basically become the Joker.
Do you know what happens now, Mr.
So Batman's tied up. Scarecrow is on TV. By the way, Scarecrow also revealed Batman's entire identity to the world. Basically, yeah, Batman's now the Joker, and
to see everyone you love hunted down and killed. Every scream, every death, vengeance.
This is also funny in Big Head mode. They really they get very close.
Do you not? It is over.
Get ready for the encore.
Why aren't you scared?
Alright. So now he gets injected with more fear toxin, but because he is now Joker, it is now basically in his mind Joker getting infected with getting injected with fear toxin. So now we're gonna see Joker's subconscious.
That body anyway. Trying to tell me something, Bats?
So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Batman's version of the Joker gets infected with fear toxin.
No, it's too small. It's all overgrown. Where's the see, old boy? You want the death of me?
Yeah, so Joker is even starting. His voice is starting to shake. Joker might be getting scared as well.
You call this a fake? Where is everybody?
Yeah, so there's a wake where nobody's here. Batman horror game? Arkham Asylum is basically a Batman horror game, in my opinion.
I know what you're trying to do, Bats.
Alright, so here we shoot the radio when Vicky Vale says Joker.
So, Glenn, today marks the 1-year anniversary of the Joker's death. Any thoughts on the occasion?
Sorry, who?
The Joker?
Oh, you think that's scary?
Alright, so
When I I get out of here, I'll write my name in blood.
Harley and Riddler expect first child.
Carve it on every corpse. No one's forgetting me. No. How do I get out of here? Where are you?
So we want to spawn some Batman statues and shoot them.
I'll find you. Show your face. Out of ideas, Bats?
Alright, so after he says out of ideas, Bats, I try to like spin the camera around to try to get a Batman to pop out. The Batman that pops out is a bit of RNG. Hopefully though, okay, there we go. Yeah, so now that, people I know get scared of that jump scare.
Hey, just so I know you told me like timing is different in this category.
Oh yeah,
Like,
so
how long is time?
Time's gonna end in like about 50 seconds. It's when I finish beating down Joker, the last punch. So I'll count down to it.
You know, you almost had me scared back there. Me? What have I got to be afraid of?
You're afraid of being ashes. You're afraid of being forgotten. And you will be forgotten, Joker. Because of me.
Yeah, so Joker is afraid of being forgotten, and now that Batman is Joker, and he's been injected with fear toxin, that fear is going to manifest itself. Alright, so yeah, so it's I think 3, 2, 1 time.
Goodbye, Joker.
Yeah, so basically Joker gets locked in a cell in Batman's mind. And Batman, because his greatest fear was turning into Joker, and then after he turned into Joker, Joker's greatest fear was being forgotten. And now that that fear manifested itself. So now that Joker is forgotten, Batman has nothing to be afraid of. So Batman is basically immune to Scarecrow's toxin now. Thanks for the GGs. Yeah, this is like a minute and 14-second PB.
You understand, Gotham.
This was a PB?
Yeah.
Dude, very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
I know you were saying like you wanted to show off some stuff, just so you know we're 30 minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna let this cutscene play out.
I've won.
Yeah, so here we find Batman's immune to the fear toxin.
Impossible. Without fear, life is
Well, Big Head Mode's funny. He just sticks the gun inside of Batman's head. And so the one that was tracking him is Arkham Knight, who's now Red Hood. So he sets Batman free.